everyone, and welcome back to the My Pets Wellness Weekly Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Rebekah, and today we have joining us Dr. Rodney, the Director of Wellness and Personal Growth. So this month we're focusing on self-care, just in a very general sense. And so this week we're going to be talking a little bit about mindfulness-based stress reduction, so MBSR as it's known. So Dr. Rodney, could you just tell me a little bit about what mindfulness-based stress reduction actually is?
Okay. Using our mind to reduce our stress can be very effective because the mind is impacted by the stress. So when the stress impacts our mind, it doesn't work well. So we have to adjust the stress by using our mind, which then would make our mind more effective. So it's a very important part of how we overcome stress, multiple decisions making all the time. When my brain gets fatigued or my body gets fatigued, I could lay down on the couch and take a nap, and that's going to be effective, but I can't do my job. But I can go to the area of mindfulness to take away that fatigue and stress that my brain is feeling.
That's interesting. So it almost sounds, kind of like a little cycle there. Your mind feels stress, but you're also able to use your mind to reduce that stress.
Right.
So is there
it's a way to relax your mind when it's stressed by using the mindfulness.
Gotcha.
So that's how it's working. Yeah.
Gotcha. Is there a difference between mindfulness and meditation, or can those concepts overlap? What really is mindfulness versus a concept like meditation?
They are related. There is some overlap because it is a way of relaxing your mind, either through mindfulness or meditation. But there's a significant difference technically in the two. When you're meditating, you're emptying your mind so that it can relax. When you're using mindfulness, you're filling your mind with things that are not stress related. So in the mindfulness, in the meditation, you're emptying your mind, you're not thinking about anybody, anything that makes your brain relax. When you're using mindfulness, which in therapy terms is related to a subject called dialectic behavior therapy, you don't have to know all about that. But what we're actually teaching somebody to do when they're stressed out is to fill their mind with happy thoughts instead of the bad thoughts that are keeping the stress.
Gotcha. I've also heard with mindfulness that there's a sense of being present and kind of engaging in the present senses that you're feeling or smelling or seeing. And similarly with emotions, being aware and having a sense of presence and just kind of sitting with whatever you're feeling. Is that an element of mindfulness?
Absolutely, 100% you're right. When you're doing meditation, you're actually going somewhere else, not being present.
Right.
When you're using mindfulness, you're aware of your emotions and your surroundings as a way to relax. Because when you're stressed out, you're not focusing on where you're at.
Right.
You're somewhere else in your brain, and that's why it's stressed out and fatigued.
So I know that there are these formal training programs for mindfulness-based stress reduction. They have a lot of, apps and resources online. Does someone need to participate in one of those formal programs in order to get benefits from mindfulness? Or is that something anyone is able to access?
Well, I would rather that they try to figure it out on their own instead of doing nothing. Obviously, I am a big fan of taking an actual class on mindfulness, dialectic behavior therapy through therapists, because we can teach you the exact specific techniques to use and how to use them instead of you just trying to say, okay, I'll just try to stay present. You'll it's better than doing nothing, but it's not going to be near as effective as being trained to do it. So I would highly recommend you find either a therapist or somebody that's been taught mindfulness in order to access the right skills to do it in the right way.
Absolutely. And what are some ways that veterinarians, technicians, or others could practice mindfulness in their daily lives? What are some very simple kind of mindfulness exercises that people can use?
I'll simplify it. It's much more complicated than this, but these are the easy ones to do, okay? So let's say I'm stressed out, my mind's getting fatigued, I'm really distracted, and I'm not staying present emotionally or even where I'm at. So that's the state. I could go into meditation and go somewhere else, but I can't work. I've got to stay working. So you access your senses, the immediate situation in the room or in the building or around you. So if I'm sitting in a room, I'll use my eyes and I'll stay present by looking at everything in the room and just identifying it. That takes my mind from what it's absorbed by, and I'm just in the room.
Yeah.
If I get tired of looking at the room, I can go outside. I could look at the trees. I could look at the cars going by. I'm actually staying present in my present surroundings. The brain will begin to relax. Because, it's a cool thing when I see a bird fly by. It's relaxing. I might see a flower. I might look at the flower. I'm using my eyes.
So it's like you're focusing your brain from all of these things that are chaotic and that are, making you stressed. You're almost focusing it on something specific that you can see or that you can hear, that, that bird, if it's chirping. So it's almost like you're refocusing.
So let's go there. One way is I see things. I use that sense. I could use my hearing.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell you, close your eyes and just listen to what you're hearing. You will be amazed that when you actually close your eyes and listen, you'll hear many things you were not aware that you were hearing. And it will relax your brain. If you get tired of hearing things in the room, by the way, when you close your eyes and listen, you'll not only hear the things in the room, but the things that are outside of the room. But then you go outside and you close your eyes. Because if you open your eyes, you're still distracted by the visual image.
Right.
Now I will listen to the birds. I can listen to the car going by. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. I have another sense.
Yeah.
Smell. I could close my eyes. I can even plug my ears if I want. I'll start smelling the flower. That keeps me present. Is it a rose? Is it a carnation? Do I have any ideas? I might peek. But anyhow, you see what I'm doing? I'm using my eyes, my ears, my nose as a way to connect. When you do this mindfulness, it's better to try to eliminate the other senses as you're focusing on one. What you're going to find out is we have 5 senses. Some people have 6. I don't believe in that stuff. But anyhow, when you eliminate others, the other senses become more acute. So it's better to not just always have all the senses going on at the same time when you're trying to do mindfulness, or you might actually get a little overwhelmed. Okay? So I can go and smell something. My clothes. No, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay? Or you do aromatherapy.
Okay.
Or you have some incense going. Or something that's relaxing. And I'm getting fatigued. I can close my eyes so I'm not seeing anything. I won't try to listen, but I'll go, and I'll smell the aroma. See, that's how it works. Okay? How about taste?
Yeah.
Now, be careful. Because when you use taste, it can be effective. Maybe you take your favorite candy and you bite into it, closing your eyes. Okay? Maybe you like ice cream. You go get some ice cream and eat it. Seriously. See, that's a distracting. It's a way, if you choose something you like, it's going to relax you. It's going to make you feel good. Obviously, if you do that too much, you become the size of a Mack truck.
Right.
Okay, so you have to be careful with that.
Caveats
or
with the taste.
use something that doesn't have calories.
Right.
A lozenge, a cert in different colors, or what's the thing in the middle cans?
Altoids?
Altoids come in all different colors. Get a whole bunch of them. Put them in a bowl. And just don't look at them. Pick them up and start eating. They're all mixed up. Is this the peppermint? Is this the cinnamon seed? It's a fantastic way.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, of course, is touch. Close your eyes. Try to just focus on what you're holding. Could it be a pillow that is a sense of relaxation? If you're having a problem with this, can you bring your favorite stuffed animal from home? People might laugh at you, but does it matter if they're laughing at you? Because if you hold your teddy bear or your Snoopy doll or your baby doll, I don't care if you're a child or an adult. It feels safe. That's what children do. When they feel unsafe, they grab their bear and they hold it tight. Because if I hold my bear safe, then I feel safe. See, so that's the same thing.
Absolutely.
Using any one of those senses to access the surroundings that you have, to get your mind distracted from it's going 1,000,000 miles an hour, thinking about not what's happening now. I'm worried about what's going to happen in 15 minutes or half an hour, an hour. And now I can't focus on right now. So you can still work. And it actually, the more skilled you get at doing it, and if you go to somebody that's been taught it, I'd encourage you to get taught in mindfulness if you haven't, because the more you get familiar with it, you can actually do it very quickly. I mean, you don't have to go out and listen to the birds for an hour.
Right.
You'll find that all of these uses of the senses are a very easy way to relax your mind. And now I can go into surgery and perform well.
Well, and even with the touch, you were mentioning holding a teddy bear, which, a lot of times might be infeasible. Maybe you have a clinic cat or something that you can use instead. But even, I've heard of people even just like putting their feet on the ground and like feeling how the ground feels against your feet, or taking a deep breath and feeling your chest expand for that sense of kind of touch and feeling.
That's all connected to the touch. And
Right.
what we teach is, so you sit in the chair, you might have done it. And I don't care if you start with your head or your feet. You first feel your hind end there, and then you start flexing your toes, and then you start accessing your muscles, moving up the body to your ankles, and maybe you bend them, and then your calves, and then your thighs. You get what I'm saying? And you work your way up. When you get to the chest, you can expand your chest. Take a deep breath. All of that kind of stuff. It takes you, depending upon how much your brain is going, maybe only a couple minutes, and you can walk through your whole body.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the top, you stretch up. Now, it's best when you do it when your eyes are closed.
Right.
So you're focusing on the touch, the feel of the body. So those are all different kinds of ways. Now, again, I've just taught you some of that, and she's aware of some of that. You can try that. I'm still going to say, go to somebody that can actually take you through the process. You will find that we all have a different sense that is powerful than the others.
Right.
Yours might be smell, yours might be taste, yours might be sight, yours might be feelings, yours might be
Auditory.
Auditory. You have to experiment with all these and find out which one works best. If you repeat the same one all the time, you'll have a tolerance level with that. So even though your main thing might be sight, if you continue to always do that, it'll lose its effectiveness. So then I'm going to go to something else and mix them up so I don't reach a tolerance level with the same mindfulness technique.
Interesting. It sounds like all of these things, of course, you're recommending definitely go and get some training in it, even if it's, through an app or online websites, or, ideally through some kind of, therapist who's trained in mindfulness. But it sounds like some of these techniques would be pretty straightforward to implement in a clinical setting. And unlike meditation, you don't have to necessarily leave mentally from what you're doing. You're able to, once you become proficient, actually incorporate these things pretty quickly and pretty easily. So like you said, if you're going into a surgery, take 30 seconds, feel the ground against your feet, take some breaths, and kind of focus your mind on that moment in time.
You're exactly
and it sounds
right,
like that's kind of where we're going with that.
Yep.
Is mindfulness, associated with any specific spiritual practice or religion, or can everyone feel like they're able to practice it, without any kind of issues?
Well, on the mindfulness side, I guess it could be. I'm not discounting that. The meditation usually is connected more with the spiritual connection, because as you go somewhere else, you can go to your higher power or your spiritual self and connect with that.
Right.
A part of the meditation is you can be sitting in a room, and if somebody is doing guided imagery, you're actually a part of emptying your mind and meditating, but they guide you, and I can leave here and go to Phoenix, Arizona, or I can go to here and go to the beach.
Right.
When somebody's guiding me, when I get good enough at it, I might be able to do it by myself. That's actually not getting connected with here and now. I'm going somewhere else to relax.
Right.
So I would say most of the meditation is connected with a religious belief, or can be. It doesn't have to be, but it can be. I think that the mindfulness part of it is by staying present, and the religious part of it is going somewhere else. That's what. Now, other people might have a different opinion, but that's what I would.
Well, it sounds like mindfulness is almost like a brain hack.
Yeah, I like that. Good.
Yeah, it's almost.
I've never heard that before. Like that.
Yeah.
A brain hack.
Like a brain hack. Like your brain is stressed. It has a way to de-stress itself. Like that seems great.
Yeah.
And then the last question I have for you is, how does having a regular and consistent mindfulness practice impact somebody's life?
Oh, it's huge. I'm working with one client right now that I've taught him that every morning he does his mindful techniques before he goes to work.
Yeah.
Because if you have a routine of behavior around doing it at a certain time, you will lessen the fatigue that your brain's going to feel as you make decisions because you start your day with mindfulness. Maybe you develop a routine of behavior that on your lunch break, you not only eat your sandwich, but you spend 5 minutes listening to the birds, whatever it is. See, so if you routinely do it throughout the day, as you have even a 5 or 10 minute break, that will keep your brain in the meantime from getting that sense of fatigue and stress of the decision-making process, because you're de-stressing it throughout the day, and then you won't have that overwhelming feeling. So I would highly recommend that routine of behavior.
I think that could be useful for a lot. I mean, pretty much everyone out there. I think that's a really excellent tool to learn and to be familiar with, because it doesn't take a lot of capital. It doesn't take a lot of time. It doesn't take away from what you're doing. It actually maybe improves the activities that you're working on, because it lets you focus on that rather than everything else that inevitably ends up in your head during the day.
Yeah, it does.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Dr.
Thank you.
Rodney. I think this has been
been
really helpful. And everyone out there, thank you for joining us this week. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. You can also find us on Spotify. So until next week, take care. We'll see you next time.
Bye.